All right, hello and welcome back to another 5K tennis discussion. Here we are on Wednesday, March 27th, 2019, and we are here for our 57th show, which would be 57. That's how I get down. Diligent application of a little bit of study a day by means of one number. Getting there.
You should learn how to say it for the French Open in French.
Okay, we can do that.
Yeah.
You want to do it?
Yeah, we should do it.
Okay, let's do it.
Yeah.
French Open, French numbers.
French numbers. We might even be daring and say welcome in
I think I can pull some off right now.
Okay.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Look, I think that was like 5th grade for me. That's what I remember. Something like that. I'm sure it's off, but anyway.
Okay. All right.
Pretty good try.
Yeah.
All right, as usual, we will place a link above so you can catch up with any of our shows in case you missed them. You should see something that pops up that says suggested videos, and if you click that, you will be able to see all 220 or 30 shows at this point.
Mm-hmm.
All right, real quickly, all prizes, by the way, have been sent out to the winners that won shirts and strings in round 1, round 2, and round 3 of this tournament. That is the Miami Open. Carlos spent
Serbia and Poland, and of course Florida.
So we have the little tracking. I don't know how it works.
They don't have tracking on first class, guys. So sorry.
So both sets of strings were sent to Casper.
Yeah.
The shirt was sent to Sergin Jovanovic in Serbia.
Correct.
And then the other shirt was sent to Arvis Jagemeyer in Florida.
Correct.
All right. So the last prize giveaway we are going to do for the Miami Open, and this will be the 5th and last prize given out for this tournament. This is going to be a fun one. What we're going to do is the day of the men's final, and I'm not pro men's final or women's final. I just figured we would do it on the last day of the tournament, and if it would have been men's and women's on Sunday, we would have done both. But
they don't do it on Sunday. They don't. Do
the women's is Saturday and the men's is Sunday, and that's great. I'm happy it's that way. But so we can have the most time possible for you guys to think about it, or guys and gals. Then I figured Sunday would be the day, and that's the day that the men's final will be.
Okay.
So what we're going to do is we are going to guess the amount of games that will take place in the men's final, which is this Sunday. I'll give you an example. It doesn't necessarily matter who you choose as a winner, but I'm going to ask that you do select your winner as the finals are set. So that way, if there is a tie, we can use that as a means to settle a tie. Your winner is not terribly important, but just put it there in case of a tiebreaker. Mm-hmm. But let's say, hypothetically, John Doe was playing John Doe Jr. in the final, right? And you thought John Doe would beat John Doe Jr. 6-4, 6-4. Well, that's 20 games, right? So you would just guess, hey, I think there'll be 20 games in this final, and I think John Doe...
they do this in fantasy tennis. They
do
this, yes.
So we just want the total number of games in the men's final. That's it. So if you think it's going to be 7-5, 6-4, 6-0, we'll add up the total number of games. And just give us your winner, but that won't make or break whether you lose or not. And again, you won't be able to do this play until the finals are set.
Right. Okay.
Total number of games, last prize, which will be a set or 2 of any of our YTEX strings. And you can look at all the YTEX strings and apparel, by the way, on their website, and you can get to that by either clicking the suggested videos link above from some of our play tests and string tests with the YTEX strings, or you can expand the video's description field by clicking the down arrow and click on their website right there. So total number of games will win either a shirt, YTEX shirt, like the one in front of me, or 1 or 2 sets of strings. Mm-hmm. All right? All right, here we go. So let's jump right into the Miami Open, and we'll start right off from matches from yesterday. So sorry we did not do a video yesterday. It was our goal to do so. Mm-hmm. We got done teaching some tennis late at around 7, came home and cooked dinner for the 5 kids, And before we knew it, it was about 10:30, and we were going to push it, but Carla and I both kind of zonked out.
Yeah, but it was a great lesson.
Yeah, it was a really good lesson. Had a great lesson for sure.
Definitely.
But definitely, we got home, and when all was said and done, it was about 10:30. So we said, you know, we won't push it, and we'll try to do better today.
Yes, definitely.
All right, well, let's go.
All right, well, let's start out with the men, because they played last night, right? Well, the number 1 seed, Novak Djokovic from Serbia, went down to Roberto Bautista Agut, 1-6, 7-5, 6-3.
You want to start with this one?
Well, Bautista Agut beat him before in Dubai. And so we expected this to be a tough match. I figured Bautista would have a chance since he's beaten him before, so that gives you confidence. I did say that Novak Djokovic has not looked good since Indian Wells, and he didn't look good at the Miami Open. Looks like there's a lot going through his head. He looks irritable. He doesn't quite shave. He just doesn't look healthy out there. I'm sure there's something going on. There's speculations that he might be injured. I know some fans made excuses for him. He doesn't look good, and maybe he's going to get some rest for the French Open, but I wouldn't bet that he win the French Open after watching 2 tough tournaments for him.
For me, I agree with you with a lot, almost all of what she has been saying since she first saw Djokovic play a match as his first match back at Indian Wells. Once I saw a couple more matches, I realized that, yeah, there is something askew there. I didn't really notice his shaving. However,
I'm sorry, I'm a girl. I do notice that. He looked kind of
scruffy, I guess.
Scruffy, bummy.
Kind of Al-Batish, per se. I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
Anyway, but he does look a little underweight. I mean, maybe like a pound or two, just because his face looks a little sucked in a little bit. It looks sucked in. He looks a little ghostly in the face. I think his legs look strong. I think he looked a little lanky up top and a little sucked in on the face. But I think a lot of us forget about how much energy that mental functions take up. There is absolutely no way that anyone can hold down the amount of off-court issues. And I'm not saying positive, negative, or anything. I'm just saying, maybe I should have said issues. Off-court events. Not positive. I think issues would kind of be skewed negative just by the way it was stated, right?
Right.
Don't mean that. I mean just things going on off of court that occupy mental energy. And mental energy, by the way, you know, a lot of people think if you're just sitting, or if you're sitting down, hypothetically, if I'm sitting right here and I'm thinking, and my brain's working, and I'm stressed out about this and stressed out about that. I'm sitting here and I'm burning a lot of energy and a lot of calories and I'm not even moving simply because I'm stressed out.
Anything mental is tough. It drains you. It really does. You can't take away credit from Bautista Agut. I watched him play. He played very smart. He put so many angles on his volleys that it was almost impossible for Djokovic to get to them. He had him running side to side and Djokovic sliding, and then he would come into the net and cut the point, which is smart because you don't want to be back there with Djokovic hitting baseline to baseline because we all know he's pretty good at it. Also, there was a rain delay, and he said in his interview that the rain delay really didn't affect his game. He just didn't take advantages of the opportunities.
Djokovic sailed through the first set, by the way. Yeah. Sailed through the first set.
6-1.
But again, this goes back to the amount of the amount of certain mental energy that he has spent dealing with what he's been dealing with. The Kermode president getting voted off, being the head chairman or whatever it is of the ATP. I mean, politics and off-court energy takes calories. It takes time away from training. It takes time off of sleep because one lays in bed at night staring at the ceiling. You know, oh geez, it all adds up, and then it all carries on to court. And Bautista Agut is not the better player. We know this. He's a solid player.
Sure, he's a grinder. He's another grinder, but
he's not the better player.
But he can volley. But Djokovic is the better player.
But when you look at Djokovic over the period of the past 2 tournaments, yes, he won the Australian Open. But right now he looks fatigued, but not necessarily physically as the culprit. He looks fatigued mentally, and then beginning to become physically fatigued looking because of the mental aspect of it.
Right.
There's no way you tell me if you're walking around a stressed out human being all the time mentally about things like politics and business and
who knows what else is going on. Yeah.
And if you're stressed about that, how much energy does it take out of your day if you're walking around stressed all the time? It takes out a lot. And I think he's done a good job to not talk about it too much, but it's showing on the court that, in my opinion, he's stressed off court. And let's see how this folds out moving forward.
Sure. Well, Bautista Agut is currently facing right now John Isner, which we talked about his match the show before this, because he was done already. So John Isner from the USA is up on him 7-6, and they're on serve 4-3. A little bit about Roberto Bautista Agut. He is 30 years old. He's currently 25 in the world. He's 22 in this tournament. His head-to-head with John Isner was 1-2. Isner's won twice. John Isner is your champion previous to that. He was your current Miami Open champion. He's 33 years old. He beat Agut in 2014, 2013, Auckland and Beijing, and Bautista beat him in Auckland 2016. But it looks like Isner has the upper hand in this match.
I told you before this match started, I think Isner would win this match. If it was on a different surface, if it was on a, not even surface, just a different tournament, I would think Bautista Agut would win. Isner's won this before. I think it was last year, wasn't it?
He won. He beat Alexander Zverev last year.
He's a Georgia native, which, if you're not familiar with where Georgia is in the United States, it lies just to the north of Florida. So surely there's some fair driving distance for maybe family, friends, old coaches, or still the current. So surely he's going to have some home field advantage here. I would assume that because his first serve percentage will need to be high in order to beat anybody on tour, regardless of their ranking. I think it will be, because that will give him the extra motivation to go up. And I think if he's elevated, then and I know he will be in Miami, I think that will solidify a victory for him. Maybe 7-6, 7-6, and if it's not 7-6, 7-6, it might be 7-6, 6-7, 7-6. But nonetheless, I think you'll have some 7s and 6s in this match.
Well, we do have a 7-6 on the first set already.
Oh, there is a 7-6 in the first set.
Yeah, there is a 7-6.
Okay, so that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
And
it's 4-3
on 4-3 in the second. All right, so we're headed in that direction.
Yeah. Well, we also missed this match because they were playing late at night. Borna Coric, the 11th seed of this tournament, defeated Nick Kyrgios 4-6, 6-3, 6-2. This was a debacle, you would have to say. This was a... I don't know what to say about this match. We saw a lot of... we heard cursing from Kyrgios.
I didn't mean...
Borna played well, by the way.
We watched
He played well. He kept cool. He was professional about it. He did what he had to do. I mean, he lost the first set 4-6. So we thought Nick Kyrgios, okay, he might win this in 2 sets. Didn't happen. We always know that he slacks. He tends to...
It was a tight match.
It was a tight match.
Until the third set.
He was playing well until the third set. Lost the game at, what, 4-2? He was serving because somebody said, why you double faulted? And he said a bad word.
Whoa, you missed a step here.
Okay.
Look, well, not really. You're there, but there's a couple... This match started as a great match. Kyrgios took the first set. In case you missed this, Kyrgios won the first set. I think it was 6-4.
6-4.
The second set was tight as well, and Kyrgios did not win the second set.
Right, it was 6-3.
Now, can anybody guess what happened after Kyrgios didn't just have a walk in the park? He got his normal theatrical, thuggish behavior tucked out of his tool belt, in my opinion, a really shabby tool belt, pulled it out and gave everyone what everyone has become to expect. We've done this show almost 200 times. 200 times, maybe somewhere in there, we have managed to talk about Kyrgios on probably 25% of them. And I promised you after the first one, we wouldn't discuss the guy. And for some reason, we continue to talk about him. I get it that he's a great player. And I'm not going to stop talking about him. He's a good player. But I'm tired of talking about the antics. I'm just tired of the antics. So what transformed into this at the second set? Kyrgios found himself down an early break. He was down 4-2, and he was serving. If I remember correctly, I'm fairly certain he was serving at 4-2. He was serving it ad out. It was out. So he was facing a break point, if I remember correctly, in the third set.
But he double faulted the point before that.
Okay, so he double faulted to
right.
add out.
And that's
anyway, so he's at the baseline. I guess someone in the crowd yells something to him such as, "Hey, why don't you play some tennis?" So he turns around and shoots out a big bleep you. Bleep you, man. So I get the frustration. I really do. But we had a show a couple of days ago where you and I discussed shooting from the hip. Saying things we don't mean to say, and we say them, and then, oh my goodness, we regret it later. I think this had to do with the Kerber Andreescu handshake snub, right?
Yes.
So Kerber shot out, "You're just a drama queen," right at the handshake, and she had to apologize later, which even though people knocked on her for apologizing, I'm glad she did.
Yeah.
Okay, and then life moves on. But the Kyrgios thing, this isn't the first time, it's not the second time, it's not the 20th time, it's not the 50th time, it's not the 250th time. And one thing about the racket smashing, and I think Coric blasted a racket in this match too, by the way, and I might be wrong there, but I think Coric took a racket and cranked it into a Pac-Man shape instead of a traditional round racket, right? But to continuously break these rackets, please don't break these rackets anymore. But tell yourself in your head, tie a little band around your finger or do something to remind yourself before you smack that racket in the ground. Don't pretend in your head you did and go drop it in a bin on the side of the court that these tournament directors should place around the courts.
Good idea.
These tournament directors, I kid you not, should place bins around the courts. And any player with a sense of dignity, would you please, before you smash a racket, get that racket. Before you smash it, you're like, "Oh, I can't believe it. Whoa, whoa." Wait a minute. It would be good positive energy and karma if I didn't blast this racket and I'm going to go set it in the donation bin. And they go, okay, so they go set it in the donation bin. Then they tell themselves, okay, now I'm positive again. They go get the racket out of their bag that they would have gotten anyway because they broke the other one. And they got 16 more in that bag anyway. If you're like Federer, that changes his racket every 6 games, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then you go play, and then you get back on the baseline instead of feeling like a schmuck and all the crowd going, boo, boo. You would feel positive and uplifted because you had the patience to stick your racket in the donation bin for millions of kids that don't even have shoes on their feet and dream of hitting the tennis ball.
Well, Kyrgios...
Donate it to them.
Kyrgios did donate a racket. He donated
a broke one to someone in the crowd.
Yeah, I would have smashed that back in his head. I would be like... Psh.
Yeah, someone's going to think it's cool to have a smash racket.
I would have smashed it back.
So you have a fan in the audience that I'm glad he got a souvenir, or he or she, doesn't matter, but it's not really cool. No. It's not really a cool souvenir. It's kind of like, why do I want this? You're kind of a... I won't even go there.
So
I don't want this.
They took that point away. He lost the game.
Yeah. So they took the So he yelled "bleep you" at a fan, took the point away, and that put him down
5-2.
5-2. Coric served out the match.
Yeah.
By the way, I had Coric in my predicted draw since before this started, going to the semifinals against Djokovic. Obviously, Djokovic is gone, but Coric has held strong here. So good match by Coric. Absolutely subpar antics by Kyrgios, and when he was chastising the ref about, hey, you do such a great job about keeping the crowd pumped.
Good job, man.
There's one thing the ATP or this tournament should do, and I'm not a proponent of any type of fine or anything like that. But there's one thing that should be disciplined, however it may be. And again, I'm totally passive on any type of discipline. Who are we to say? But Kyrgios put his hand on the umpire's leg, and it was nothing aggressive. It was just, hey man, I don't like anybody I don't know touching me. I just don't. I mean, I don't have like a shield I don't have like a ring around me where if I got someone that's talking trash to me, and you put your hand on me, it's on. You know what I'm saying?
Well, let's move on. Let's move on from this.
So,
let's move on. I don't even want to talk about this.
Yeah, I think we're giving him too much airtime.
Yeah, let's move on. So, Felix Auger-Aliassime, the 18-year-old, will face off against Borna Coric, 22-year-old. Felix Auger-Aliassime is from Canada. He's currently ranked 57. He had to qualify for this tournament. They've never played each other. 0-0 is the head-to-head. Borna Coric is the 13th rank in the world. He's ranked 11 in this tournament. So who do you give the upper hand to?
This is a difficult choice for me. Number one, big, huge shout out. We talked about this match already, but he beat Auger-Aliassime or Aliassime, beat Basilashvili. That was difficult. We talked about that. But for the match upcoming against Borna Koric, if I'm a
I think he's got a chance.
if I'm a betting man, I am not. But if I am a betting man, I would bet on Koric safely. I would take Koric to the bank on this one. Look, I have a whole segment written in here at the end of the show just talking about Auger-Aliassime. So since we're on the match, I'll just bring it up now. It wasn't long. In my opinion, I think that this young man, Felix Auger-Aliassime, has some of the best court conduct I have personally ever seen since like the early on and current Roger Federer career. Stefan Edberg-ish, Arthur Ashe-ish.
He's very elegant.
He's an elegant player.
Elegant, classic player.
And he's smooth. He has the look and the patience and the calmness, the humility, and the passiveness and aggressiveness at the same time on the court. A beautiful net game, by the way.
Yes.
Carla and I discussed Felix, Wimbledon last year?
Yeah.
Just before Wimbledon last year? And both of us told ourselves, who is this kid? This, most kids are kind of all over the place. It looks like, they're kind of running a freak out show or something. They're just like Tsitsipas still is, kind of everywhere. I think Shapovalov is kind of, we'll get to that, but I think Shapovalov used to be all over the place, didn't know quite what.
He's calmed down.
But it seems like he's calmed down a little bit. Tsitsipas is still kind of everywhere, oh my gosh. But Felix, I have not ever seen that spastic, young kid still tennis mentality. I never saw it in him in the first place. Felix has the potential to go really far and to be on a list of some of the best court conduct athletes I've ever seen.
Totally agree. Yeah.
Usually great court conduct leads into great careers. So I'm looking forward to it. But I think that Borna Koric tomorrow, or today, or whenever the match is.
They play today in a bit.
I think Borna Koric will be too much here. So again, if I'm a betting man,
I disagree with
I'm
him.
taking Koric to the bank here.
I say 3 sets. The Felix. 3 sets.
I'm going to say Koric in straights.
All right. Well, next match is, this match, we talked about Anderson. He won last night, the night before.
Federer Medvedev the last night.
Federer, last night's match, it was canceled due to rain because they were going to play too late. So they played today. Roger Federer, the 4th seed, not from Australia, but from Switzerland. Sorry, B-Dog.
Oh, that's right.
Played Daniil Medvedev.
She was reading the score, and she was like, all right, tonight, Roger Federer from Australia. Yeah. We didn't even pick up on it, but B-Dog02 did.
Yeah, he played Daniil Medvedev and won in straight sets, 6-4, 6-2. Kind of cruised. I didn't see him much of a challenge.
It was a tight first set.
It was a tight first set, but they were holding serve. They were playing well.
And by the way, this is kind of an interesting setup, the tournament in of itself. I watch some football and love to play some quarterback, and I love to throw the football. And I'm a fan of football. It was kind of interesting to see the center court set inside of a football stadium.
That was weird.
Well, I thought it was pretty cool. I mean, I think it's just temporary, but to see that, a tennis court's 78 feet in length, and I think it's 36 feet in width, plus the surrounding court, then the stands, to still fit comfortably. All I'm getting at is the entire grandstand court they have put together is quite big.
It is big.
Right?
Probably too big, because they said it echoes a bit.
And it sits inside like half of a football stadium. To me, the only reason why I mention this has nothing to do with where we're going, and so I'm going to move forward. But architecture and what human beings can do is quite an amazing thing.
Definitely.
So for someone to create a beautiful facility in a short period of time, from what I hear, a couple of months, they had to throw this thing together.
Like 4 months.
And then, boom, just drop it into the middle of a football field and pull it off.
Bravo.
Great stuff.
Well,
but Felix Auger-Aliassime, I think, will be great.
Okay, but we were talking about Federer.
Yeah, I know that.
Okay. So Kevin Anderson.
I have them both on the thumbnail.
Oh, gotcha. Okay, yeah. You're comparing them both.
Comparing them both.
Good idea. All right, Kevin Anderson will face off Roger Federer. Kevin Anderson is 32 years old. He's from South Africa. Currently ranked 7th in the world, with 6th in this tournament. Head-to-head, 1-5, Roger Federer. Roger is 37 years old, from Switzerland. Ranked 5 in the world and ranked 4 in this tournament. The last time that Anderson beat him was in 2018, as we know, Wimbledon in grass. And Federer has beaten him the other 5 times on hard courts, all 1,000 Masters.
And I think...
And the ATP, 3 Masters and 1 ATP final.
And I think Federer will beat him.
I think he will beat him too. I think he'll get him this time.
And again, if given that he's 37 and we've seen him lose to Anderson at Wimbledon, but if I recall, Federer was up 2 sets, so in 2 out of 3, that match would have been over.
He should have been over.
By the way, we were watching, and I forgot to bring this up. We were watching, Carla and I were watching a match today, and I think it was the Halep match. And who was Halep playing?
Wang,
yeah. So one of the commentators, I think it was Patrick McEnroe, had brought up the fact that they should allow men's tennis, the ATP Tour, to have coaching on the sidelines. I disagree totally.
That would be horrible. Well, actually, he had asked Renee Stoggs, and he had asked Bethany Maddox-Sands, would you like the on-court coaching for the women's? And they both said, yeah, I think it's a good idea, but some of them don't want to use it because then the other players learn their tactics, right? Well, he says, I love it. I think that we should use it for the men. Big mistake.
Big mistake.
This is why American tennis sucks, Patrick McEnroe, because you come up with these dumb ideas.
It's not that it's not that it's just dumb, and I think dumb is too kind of a word here. I think it's petty. I think it's cheap. I think it's tacky. I think it's weak. And my list of negative verbiage can continue for quite a while.
Can you imagine Nadal telling Carlos Moya, and Carlos Moya comes down and says, hey, Nadal, make sure you put more spin. Make sure you're a lefty, so put it to his backhand. And make sure that it's really high. And you keep pushing that way. And hit inside-out forehands as many as you can. Can you imagine that? I mean, we would be like, huh?
I mean, could you imagine Bill Belichick running out into the huddle and telling Tom Brady, give him a little tap on the knee, and say, hey, man, by the way, look over there before you throw it over here. Watch out for that linebacker as he drops into zone, but watch out for this guy on that corner blitz over there. All right, Tom, you can do this. Pat him on the butt and walk off the field.
This is why tennis players train. They train with their coaches off the court when they're not playing tournaments. They train, so when it's time for a match, they can figure these things out on their own. If they're losing, they need to figure it out.
I mean, do you think gladiators and the ancient arenas in Greece or Rome or wherever would go in and the lions would be about to eat their face and they would have a coach come out and say, hey, man, hold on. You know, just make sure you dodge that lion and watch that big throwing spear coming over here from the left. Be careful, that catapult. It's got some fire charcoal napalm on it. Better duck that. In the meantime, time in. Let's go. I mean, come on. What this is an old tradition, and you're gonna hamper the men with knee tapping and butt tapping. I don't get it. For me, I know no one is like, you know, you hear people, they say, oh, well, if that happens, I will never do it again. And if that happens, you know, life goes on. So I'm not going to say that I wouldn't watch tennis anymore because no one really cares what I watch or don't watch.
Well, they would feel the impact of fans stop watching.
I mean, I don't care.
I think the guys would not, even if it happened, the guys would not allow that. They wouldn't call a coach unless it's maybe Tiafoe or maybe Tsitsipas or maybe Isner would probably call a coach.
Okay, well, you just mentioned Tiafoe. Could you imagine, Tiafoe, like, idolizes LeBron, LeBron James. Could you imagine LeBron on court and the coach comes up and taps him on the butt and says, man, make sure you dunk that if you get the free zone. You know, if not, dump it back off for that, you know, and hey, what? I mean, come on, it's cheesy. There is a time that we prepare, and that's called the practice court, and then we show off our skills and what we can do and cannot do on the battleground. I mean, the last time I checked, this is an individual battle sport.
Yeah.
I mean, gee whiz.
Let's water down tennis even more.
Water it down, make it less appealing to people that want to fight, and make it more, more theatrical? I mean, it's becoming cheesy. They change tennis all the time. You don't see, you know, football now being changed. Hey, man, we can throw a frisbee further. I mean, we changing tennis, it seems like weekly. We just went to tiebreakers because of Anderson, Mahut, and Isner. I mean,
more like Anderson and Isner. Mahut just got stuck thrown in the middle because he was playing somebody that could serve aces.
Well, man, they went to like 7,398,000 to 7,396,000 in the fifth.
Just to lose in the next round.
Just to have the tiebreakers change. If anything, that seemed orchestrated. Just kidding, obviously. But anyway, please, dear, tournament directors, whoever, please, do not allow men's. Don't allow men's coaching. That's just cheesy.
Very cheesy. All right, last night's match that I stayed up for, and he did too, because it was two of my favorite guys, Stefanos Tsitsipas, the number 5th seed in this tournament from Greece, played against Denis Shapovalov, the 20th seed from Canada, and they went to 3 sets.
This was a good match. We watched this match.
We got one-handed backhands, lefty and righty. 4-6, 6-3, 7-6 was the end score, and Shapovalov goes through. I wasn't bummed out Tsitsipas lost. I love Shapovalov, so for me, either one who won, I was happy.
This was a good match. This was one of the better matches of the tournament, in my opinion, at this point. I was actually glad to see Shapovalov win as well. Carlo picked up on Shapovalov multiple years ago and indicated that he may be the next #1 in the world. And this was a couple of years ago, and myself and 2 of our oldest of 5 kids have laughed at her about that.
Don't you think he looks like he's mature? Like he's matured on court, he's doing better shot selections, not hitting so crazy?
Well, do you remember when I would tell you I didn't care for Shapovalov because he jumped up, he's lefty, so he would jump up, before, and so the ball bounces, the point of impact's out front, he's in position to hit it out front, stay down, stay low, hit through the ball, only to jump up off the ground, jump up, and hit the one-hander and open wide open. So so in other words, he's in position, he's turning, here's the ball, instead of staying down and hitting through it, blam with the left hand, I do it with the right, same difference. But instead of hitting through it, he would jump up, and then instead of hit throughing it and staying partially closed, he would hit and then fling wide open. So his opponent's looking at his chest as he's following through. Generally, that's not a great idea. Generally, you want to lean into the ball, hit through it, and then split and move. But he would hit it and be like, whoo, hey, I like to see the shoulder and some of the back, and then just still see a lot of that once you're coming through the shot. But it looks like he is actually turning the corner on that. He was staying more closed. His backhand percentage was much higher than when you first saw him, and I was laughing at you, telling you that there's no way he could be #1 in the world flopping open like that. I mean, I'm not saying when you follow through, you're not squaring open your right shoulder or his left shoulder.
He would completely open up.
But he would completely open up. And it was inconsistent. But he looked better there.
Yeah, I was happy that he won. I think he needed that win. He really did, more than Tsitsipas.
Well, Tsitsipas, again, is a very spastic player. His emotions are spastic. I think sometimes he's very reactionary. I know he has tactics, obviously, or he wouldn't be there. But it seems like sometimes he gets into a spot, he forgets and he just reacts. I think sometimes when he does that, he regrets it because it usually results in some type of unforced error.
He's still young, Justin. They both are 19. They are both 19.
Yeah. I still think between the 2 of them, though, between those 2, to me, they're coin tosses if they ever make the top 3 or 4. I don't think they will be. I don't think they will. I think the
top 3 or 4. Well, Tsitsipas is. I mean, it says here he's 8.
I mean in the world.
He's 8 in the world already.
I'm just saying top 3.
They'll get there.
I think that. I mean,
Denis Shapovalov is 20 in the world right now. With this tournament, should bump him up a little bit.
I understand that top 3 is tough to crack, but I think
top 20 is tough to crack.
I think we will. Yeah, it's a top 500 is the top 10,000 is tough to crack. I mean, in this context, the top 3. I think, metaphorically speaking,
I think you'll see it. I think you'll see it once the 3 are gone.
I think Felix Auger-Aliassime has a better chance than those 2 at this point. I think eventually Felix will jump ahead of the both of them.
I won't be mad if that happens. I
won't either.
I like all 3 of them.
I think court conduct and net game will bump Felix past these 2.
All right, this was another match we watched last night as well. Francis Tiafoe from the USA. Your number 28 seed in this tournament faced David Goffin from Belgium. Tiafoe took that 7-5, 7-6. Personally, I think that Tiafoe, if he's, the top American, or not really, because Isner is, he should have won this tournament, being that he's young, 21. I mean, not this tournament.
And a super strong guy.
Super strong guy, 21 years old. I mean, he should have won this match. So I didn't see it as a big deal that he won last night.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't
Goffin
either.
is a weaker opponent who's had injuries, who's gone through his struggles.
Well, okay, I disagree with you saying he's weaker.
He's a smaller guy, much smaller guy. His shots are not as powerful as some other players.
So you think that muscles have to do
muscles.
Muscles have nothing to do with being great at tennis.
Not muscles, but his shots don't have as much impact as some other players do.
Well, You said it right the second half, but by the way, in my opinion, muscles and size have zero to do with how good of a tennis player you are. Just saying.
Well, both guys didn't really face anyone big. I mean,
but
Goffin faced Cecchinato, which...
Well, Goffin is a good player. You said it right at the end of that
Yes.
statement, that he's been injury-prone and some really weird ones over his career on court a couple of times in his career. Should Tiafoe have won this? Yes. If you took away all of Goffin's injuries, should he have won it? No. Goffin, I think, is the better player in mind, but in body, Tiafoe was, like you said, stronger. But again, I don't think stronger on a level playing field
meaning that his
has to do
strokes
with
are a lot
anything.
more powerful.
Now, but let's rewind real quick to on-court coaching for men. Could you imagine someone big and strong like Tiafoe to come down and have a love tap on his knee and so on? It just doesn't fit the narrative. Don't do the coaching here. And Tiafoe's an example of a dude that we don't want to see another dude come up and sit by him and coach him. You want to see that dude fight.
All right, so we'll have Denis Shapovalov from Canada. He's number 23 in the world, 19 years old. Head-to-head, 1-1. Francis Tiafoe is 21 years old from the USA, currently ranked 34. The last time Shapovalov beat him was in 2018 at a 1,000 Masters in 3 sets. And Tiafoe won in Delray Beach last year, 2018, where he won that tournament.
This will be an interesting match.
I give it to Shapovalov hands down. I'm not a fan of Tiafoe. Don't like his game style. Whoever taught him his forehand, ridiculous. Whoever taught him his serve, ridiculous. Whoever taught him how to volley that way, ugly. Sorry.
Just because I haven't bought into Shapovalov's consistency here, but yet I still have not been acclimated yet to being a 100% Tiafoe confidant, I guess you could say.
This is the first time that he gets through a tournament. He's lost in the first round in all the other tournaments since the Australian Open.
If I am asked to pick a winner here, I'm going to say, oh my goodness, do I lose anything? Because if so, please don't make me. But if I had to choose one here, only because of home field advantage, I'm going to take Tiafoe. But only because of that, I think that Shapovalov may and should win. But Tiafoe with home field advantage, I think has a shot.
All right, on to the women. Annette Kontaveit from Estonia defeated Sue Shea in 3 sets. 3-6, 6-2, 7-5.
I called it.
But I told you that she had a chance. And she did. She won the first set. She won the first set and you thought she was in trouble.
Well, yes, and that match
because I told you that type of player can take you out of your game.
Yeah, and I think Sue Shea, I think she was up in the third set,
yeah,
right?
And it was
like
7-5, so that was a close match. Anytime you play someone that can take away your pace, you're in trouble.
I'm not shocked though, and look, there's two current women's players on tour, and Arvis Jagemeyer can vouch for me on this one because he and I have been picking these two players for 10 years, Kanepi and Kontaveit. I'm glad to see Kontaveit here.
Me too.
Great job.
I don't know that she's been playing for 10 years. She's only 23.
I mean, Kanepi and Kontaveit have been around a while. Exaggeration.
23 years old.
They've been around a while.
Yes, Kanepi has, yes.
They've been around a while. So maybe I skewed on Kontaveit, but I know I've been picking Kontaveit on draws for a long time.
That is true.
And maybe my years are off. Correct me, Arvis. How long has Kontaveit been playing? But I can swear I remember.
Maybe 5 or 6 years?
I can swear for a long time I've been writing Kontaveit on my draws.
Okay. Well, Ashley Barty took on Petra Kvitova from the Czech Republic and won in 3 sets, 7-6, 3-6, 6-2. I was kind of shocked.
I was shocked here.
Really shocked.
Young cricket player.
Slicer beat. I think Kvitova has trouble putting matches away. She is too nice. She has to have that fight in her. She kind of chokes. She chokes in matches a lot.
Do you think this loss, we were speaking of mental fortitude on the court in terms of Djokovic, with things going on off court, taking his presence of mind away and leading to fatigue. Do you think Kvitova's, the person that assaulted her, getting sentenced to prison while this tournament was ongoing, had any mental fortitude that pulled her? Is that a valid excuse here?
No, it's not, because she chokes a lot in matches. There's a lot of matches she should win in 2 sets and ends up going to 3rd set and she loses. So we'll have Annette Kontaveit, the 23-year-old from Estonia, 19 in the world, head-to-head, 1-0 against Ashley Barty from Australia, who's 22 years old. She's 11 in the world, but will be number 10 now in the world.
Good job.
So the last time, I don't know.
That's a great job.
I could not find when was the last time they played, but Kontaveit's up on her 1-0.
I'm going to only pick Kontaveit here, only because, again, I still have not seen enough of Barty, and I've seen a lot of Kontaveit. I think Kontaveit can get it done if she's not too tired from that 3-setter against Su Wei Shea. But I'm going to pick Kontaveit here simply because I hope that she wins. But Barty, I think, maybe a big test for her.
Yeah. By the way, John Isner defeated Roberto Bautista Agut 7-6, 7-6.
Oh, I told you.
Yeah.
Don't doubt it.
Match that's going to play later on tonight is Karolina Pliskova from Czech Republic against another Czech Republic girl, Markéta Vondrousova, the 19-year-old.
This is going to be a good match.
That's a toss-up to me. I just never have faith in Pliskova. I mean, she'll probably be taking the 3 sets and probably win it in the 3rd set.
Well, Putintseva, again, we know, tested her to the 3rd set and almost won, and Pliskova had to fight back.
Right.
But, when we talk about, I used a metaphor a couple shows ago about, big sister, little sister, but not really. They're from the same country, and one's a lot older, one's a lot.
Pliskova is 27 years old, and Vondrousova is 19 years old.
I think Pliskova, or Pliskova, as we heard today. I think Pliskova is going to go right through Vondrousova and wind up facing Halep that took out Qian Wang today.
Right, 6-4, 7-5. Simone Halep is 27 years old. Current ranking is 3 in the world. If she faces Pliskova, she has a 7-2 lead. If she faces Vondrousova, she lost to her one time, which was at the Indian Wells.
So I'm glad to see that on my women's side of my draw that I did before this started. I had Halep going to the final, meeting Sabalenka, and Sabalenka winning. Now, it's tough for me to keep losing one of my women's finalists in the 1st and 2nd rounds, but I did hear that Sabalenka was doing very well in doubles, right?
She's in the semifinals with Elise Mertens. So maybe she's sticking to a doubles career.
Yeah, I think they just won a doubles tournament recently.
Indian Wells.
So I have Halep, Pliskova, semi, and I have Halep winning that.
Okay.
All right, quick poll question.
By the way, there was a lot of grunting in that match. Halep and Wang.
There was.
I had a hard time watching.
Yeah, there was a heavy grunt meter.
For every shot.
Sounded like a workout weight gym. So, yeah, the grunt or the screech level index was at about a 9 point.
And the harder they hit or the harder they thought they were hitting, it went louder.
And sometimes the softer they hit, the louder the grunt got.
Yeah.
It was like hit hard, oh, hit soft, ah. It's like ninja. Poll question at 41:52. Should the ATP allow coaching on the sidelines? That is the men. Poll question. Answer that one. Djokovic did not look too good. Federer looked very fresh to me. Feet were moving well. The outfit looked great.
I love the outfit.
And that nice lime green.
Yeah.
Quote of the day. We're going to move into the quote of the day and end this show. I was looking for a quote of the day and I found this one. So this is kind of a tease-in quote of the day. Here we go. Quote of the day, or one of two. Quote. Too many people spend money they haven't earned to buy things they don't want to impress people they don't like.
Yeah, there's a lot of people like that.
Think about that one. Think about that one.
Just enjoy the simple things in life. Those are the best.
So I was looking for positive, and I found that somewhat kind of trite, kind of cut and dry statement. But think about it. So I read that, and I was like, that is so true. That's so true. Think about that.
Yeah.
Interesting. Okay, in all seriousness, here's the quote of the day. Yesterday is not ours to recover, but tomorrow is ours to win or lose.
So what? Try your best because you can't bring back yesterday, or do the most you can in a day?
You can analyze it however you want it, but I can't go back in time, at least not now. I do project in maybe another 1,000 years of human existence that we can travel back and forth in time, but that's a whole nother video for a whole nother day that will be in a category of like quantum physics and not tennis. I do think that will occur. Maybe I can go back and hang out with a triceratops one day.
Nah, I don't want to.
Anyway. We can't dwell on the past. We can't. We can't let things that happened yesterday occupy and stress us out for today. I found this quote. Again, we talked about Djokovic. Djokovic looks fatigued now, probably because he's dwelling on some things in the past.
I'm sure he'll be fine. At the end of the day, he'll be fine.
But I think he needs to relinquish whatever he's letting drain him so he can move forward. The French Open is knocking on the door, and I think we all have a couple of bets here about Djokovic.
Where are you, Kane? Where are you?
We all have a couple of bets here. Yeah, Kane.
Where are you, Kane?
What was Kane's last name? Surbanovich?
No, I don't know.
I forget what Kane's last name.
I don't know, but a lot of people think that Djokovic is not human, and he is human, and he's proving that.
Yeah, don't forget that we haven't heard from Kane in a while, but one of our viewers, Kane, bet that Djokovic would win the French Open, and if
Oh, and so Rahesh too. Rahesh said he would win all 4.
And
so.
if the one guy, Kane, bet that if he did not win the French Open, that Kane, would buy her a new tennis racket of her choice.
I'm ready.
Then we lost track of him. Where'd he go? That was a big bet.
He chickened out.
Uh-oh. Girl calling chicken.
And then Rahesh would wear a Rafa Nadal shirt, too, if he lost.
What was that movie? Back to the Future? Never call me chicken. Come on, let's go. Don't let a girl win. All right, that's it, everyone. Thanks so much. Thanks so much to all of you, as always. Without you guys keeping us going, then we wouldn't really have much to show for. Well, I think we have a really good time here, and that's because of all of you.
Yes, definitely. So
much love to all of you. Really have a positive and great day. Again, yesterday is not ours to recover, but tomorrow is ours to win or lose. So whatever it is that you have planned for tomorrow, plan to win. All right, let's go. Come on, let's go. That's it. Like our show below by clicking the thumbs up. You can share our videos. Please do. And subscribe to our channel. You can do that right here by just clicking the little red subscribe icon. As always, Carla says,
adios.
See ya.